I don't want to be a downer or anything, but 2025, this was probably the worst year ever to be alive, regardless of who you are. It just felt like everywhere you turned to every day, there was something negative, disgusting, or catastrophic happening. Everything from the political world, the music world, specifically in the scene where we had so many bands break up or band members leaving due to allegations, deaths in the music industry, like Ozzy Osbourne. That was a giant loss that definitely hit harder than I expected it to be. Bands that everyone hates came back this year. Personal stuff in my life. 2025 was just awful year. Just really terrible. And yeah, there was good stuff that happened, but it wasn't enough to outweigh the bad. Look, I'm not gonna go into anything else other than the music. That's what this channel's for. I want to give you comfort and escape from the real world. That's my job here. And how am I gonna do that? By being a masochist and telling you all the top 10 worst albums of the year. Nothing like hating myself to give y'all entertainment. This year, it was a weird year for bad music. It was a combo of how the hell did you guys get on here to you guys still exist and suck to who? I'm not gonna dive into the rules because I feel like every time someone makes one of these videos, you should know how it goes. Only albums, no covers, EPs, etc. All my opinion for everyone here. I didn't hear everything that came out this year because I would die. And with that, let's go into some dishonorable mentions. Our Last Night, Left Alone. Okay, I only heard this because I heard it was their last album as they're going to be spending more time with their families after their final tour. And good for them on that part, but this was just another generic metalcore album that does nothing unique or interesting. Just like this band. Bland, metalcore, and I won't be missing them. Good choice for choosing their families, and also kinda good riddance. Tame Impala, Deadbeat. This one hurts to put on here because I am a Tame Impala fan. I've enjoyed many of Kevin Parker's songs and his albums like Currents and Slow Rush, but this just got weaker and weaker and more of a drag with repeat listens. There are good songs here, but the rest is outweighed from more of the boring side of Tame Impala's music. Not the worst of the year, but definitely his weakest album to date. Drake and Party Next Door, some sexy songs for you. How long is it gonna take for Drake to realize he's completely out of it, both in music and in fame? The same nonsense we've been getting from the guy for the past 15 years, and Party Next Door doesn't add much to this overly unbearable attempt of trying to sound better than Kendrick just because he sent you to the shadow realm. Maybe it was a good reason he just sent you there. Stay there. And finally, Under Oath, the place after this one. This one really hurts because I am a massive Under Oath fan. I saw them on their 20th anniversary tour for their album They're Only Chasing Safety, a very influential band for me, but this was just a mess all over the place. Weird production choices were made, everything sounds all muddied, so many of the songs sound awkward, strange, pretty annoying at times. They're better than this, and I really hope they improve on the next album. Now with that out of the way, let's see what the worst albums that came out in 2025. The worst albums in the worst year. Yikes! What in the world happened with Rise Against? Rise Against are usually pretty consistent, and they don't really change style or sound for the most part, and that usually works for them on varying degrees. With this new album, Ricochet, they easily made their worst album to date, and that's really sad to say. Playing style and lyrics aren't necessarily the problem here, as you would expect from what you would hear from a Rise Against album. It's the production, mixing, and vocal layering that brought this album hard and what really made this not good. The production came from indie producer Catherine Marks, and she's not a bad producer, but her work with Rise Against just did not gel well. Overproduction made everything so overblown, it sounded like it was recording from blown out speakers and the vocal layering on Tim's vocals made it sound muffled and drowning in bad production. We hear songs like the title track, Not, and at this point their worst song, I Want It All, that literally made them sound like Buck Cherry of all bands. It's a giant red flag. Seriously, I should not be thinking about Buck Cherry when I listen to Rise Against. I'm normally not one to complain about production, but it really ruined the album here. They tried to change the sound after all this time, and it failed. And coming off of Nowhere Generation, one of their best albums in years, this was really, really crushing to hear. I do hope they get back on track on the next album, because this was a giant miss for them. Okay, before y'all attack me in the comments, I'm actually okay with Starset's music overall. I enjoy them for what they are. They have pretty good albums like Transmissions and Vessel, and I like the last album, Horizon, so after hearing this over a year of singles, that was half of the album released, which most of them suck. All but 2 songs were released when the album dropped, the rest of them being interludes and 2 covers. Yeah, this had all the warning signs, and Silos is their worst album to date. The overly dramatic concept of space and science fiction usually works, but this just screams pretentious at this point. The new direction they went here just doesn't work that well for them. It feels like they wanted to go much more darker, with the album going heavier with metalcore elements along with the interludes, and it just feels like more of a space than you would make than in Portal. Dustin's vocals going lower and gravelly honestly just doesn't sound that good to me, to be honest. There are many effects with his vocals that really makes it sound off on Brave New World and Dark Thing. Bad writing on Degenerate, Dystopia, and Toxic spelled like it was from TikTok. The 2 covers from Johnny Hates Jazz and Tears for Fears aren't really that good. It feels like shooting trash into space and making it an album. Weird thing is that I could see this working if the production and effects weren't so ass. But this wasn't even supposed to be an album to begin with, but fans begged for it, and now we have an album that not even some of the Starset fans like. So, good job, Starset fans. You played yourself. Oh boy, this band. Set It Off. Yeah, I never really liked this band and their take on theatrical pop punk. Their early work was never that much impressive to me, even though they have a few songs there that I do like. I just always thought they were just very whatever, and they got worse over time. The self-titled album isn't the worst album that they've done, but it shows everything about this band that grinds the gears. This was them leaving Fearless Records and going independent with a new sound in alt metal. It sucked balls. Imagine the most generic alt metal meets metalcore from a band that isn't really well known for that. Cause that's pretty much what I heard here. Pretty cringe vocals and rapping from Cody Carson with a generic trap piece, because that's literally what so many bands do these days. Compressed production, passive aggressive lyrics to make yourself seem edgy, along with releasing 2/3 of the album in singles in the past 2 years. Does this sound familiar to any of all? This is literally Set It Off being Falling in Reverse. If you're trying to be like Falling in Reverse, that's only gonna put me off more of Set It Off's music. Cody's bad rapping, edgy, passive aggressive lyrics. This is a prime example of a band showing the worst parts of them in every way, and the music shows it. Should have just been called like Setting It Off in Reverse, or Falling It Off, or something like that. It doesn't really matter. This band sucked and this album wasn't good. This band. This is a band I really wish would stop making music entirely. For over 20 years, we've had to endure and suffer through this band's music, and they're seriously still a thing? Listen, from the inception of when this band was created, we haven't really gotten much good stuff from them, and if we did, that ship has sailed far beyond so many years ago. Vocals are lazy and whiny, lyrics are terrible, production sucks. Yeah, this sounds like just about almost every album this band has made before. It's more of the same garbage they've been giving us, and at this point, we really need to stop hearing them unless you're a divorced dad or a soccer mom. This is short because people have already gone to great lengths to tear into this band. I can't say anything else to add to the conversation that hasn't been said already. That is all. It almost feels like I can copy and paste this and say the same thing for another band. This band. This is a band I really wish would stop making music entirely. For over 20 years, we've had to endure and suffer through this band's music, and they're seriously still a thing? Listen, from the inception of when this band was created, we haven't really gotten really much good stuff from them, and if we did, that ship has sailed far beyond so many years ago. Vocals are lazy and whiny, lyrics are terrible, production sucks. Yeah, this sounds like just about almost every album this band has made before. It's more of the same garbage they've been giving us, and at this point, we really need to stop hearing them unless you're a divorced dad or a soccer mom. This is short because people have already gone to great lengths to tear into this band. I can't say anything else to add to the conversation that hasn't been said already. That is all. It almost feels like I can copy and paste this and say the same thing for another band.
Your love is like drugs, and I had suitcases full of it. I never
This band. This is a band I really wish would stop making music entirely. For over 20 years, we've had to endure and suffer through this band's music, and they're seriously still a thing? Listen, from the inception of when this band was created, we haven't really gotten really much good stuff from them, and if we did, that ship has sailed far beyond so many years ago. Vocals are lazy and whiny, lyrics are terrible, production sucks. Yeah, this sounds like just about almost every album this band has made before. It's more of the same garbage they've been giving us, and at this point, we really need to stop hearing them unless you're a divorced dad or a soccer mom. This is short because people have already gone to great lengths to tear into this band. I can't say anything else to add to the conversation that hasn't been said already. That is all. It almost feels like I can copy and paste this and say the same thing for another band. Phil! Oh, fucking Phil. God damn it, Phil. You really suck at being a musician and person. You know that? All that remains. It's been 7 years since the last album in 2018, and I know this band lost their guitarist a long time ago, but this album is just more of the same stuff that they've been doing for decades now. It's the same outdated metalcore they've been doing for a long time. It's not as bad as some of the past albums, and the ideologies and politics from Phil Labonte that he always tries to put in his music isn't present here. But this still shows everything wrong with All That Remains and Phil himself. I mean, the music is fine, I guess. Jason Richardson's a good guitar player, and I guess he did what he could, but even he couldn't try to make All That Remains better. Phil just ruins everything. He's a terrible screamer, not a good vocalist, a terrible writer as well. I mean, the title track is a prime example of the worst here. And every song from Cut Their Tongues Out, Divine, Blood and Stone tries to think it's smart when it's really not. On top of that, the music is super repetitive. It's really that bad of an album, just like Phil and All That Remains. The only good thing to come out from this is just now that Jason has left the band, which thank God he did. Just, Phil, you suck at everything, my God! Oh boy, the pop punk elder emos are gonna yell at me and have the emo police arrest me for putting Good Charlotte here. I gotta get out of here! Good Charlotte are also back with their first album in 7 years. I'm noticing a trend here. Now look, I've never been a Good Charlotte fan. I just find them to be very pandering for pop punk and very forgettable. They have a few songs I like, but I was never really into them. And that last album, Generation RX, I'm not gonna call it a good album, but I guess it was their more tolerable, mature for them at least, and best album for what it was, even though I really wouldn't give it any higher than a 5 out of 10. But this album, remember when they put out Youth Authority in 2016 and pandered like hell? Yeah, they did it again with Motel Du Cap, and it's their worst album to date. Joel and Benji Madden are in their 40s and have kids. Why are you guys still writing like you're teenagers? You guys are literal adults. We don't need you talking about how you're rejects, hating your jobs, and telling people that they're mean. Yes, they still are in that mindset. It's so obnoxious and cringe when that happens. All the guest features here suck on each of their respective songs, but what made this album so high up on this list was not only because this was their worst album. Musically, it's so weak with no punch or drive or anything that makes it good. The music is secondary with super weak style pop punk and bad vocals from people that are still stuck in their ways of trying to be young. This is literally made for people that are either 13 or elder emos stuck in the past. And even some people then shouldn't really like this. Grow the hell up. God damn it, god damn it, Wes, shut the hell up. I might be really quick with this one, cause I don't want to talk about Puddle of Mudd for any longer than I have to. Wes Gillis somehow still gets making a lot of rock and post-grunge give it the worst name imaginable. I mean, is anybody really gonna argue? Just everything from this album just is so goddamn terrible. Just like everything this band and Wes has done. His vocals have only gotten worse with every time and every album. Especially that last album in 2023, Ubiquitous, his vocals have become so shot it's not even funny anymore. We can't even make jokes about how bad his vocals are. The music is secondary with more of the same boring post-grunge we've been getting from them. And the writing is so bad it makes your drunken uncle look like Edward Allan Poe. I mean, look up Utimus or In Love with a Dancer and Win Win Win. Yeah, more like lose lose lose. This guy hasn't changed and never will stop being one of the worst people out there and one of the worst bands in rock in general. Even the album cover is awful. A kid kissing a gumball machine. This looks like it's so AI generated, so it wouldn't surprise me if it was. Moral of the story, Puddle of Mudd is bad, this album is still bad, they suck still, and somehow this wasn't the worst album of the year. Oh god, I just imagine AI generated Wes Scantlin. I'm gonna shut up and not talk about Wes anymore. Okay, so this number one, most of y'all probably haven't heard this. And I don't blame ya, but this was personal. And not in the way that you're thinking of. So, what was the worst album of 2025?
My life is the worst life ever!
Yeah, I bet y'all have no idea who this guy is. Kyle Gordon is a comedian who does YouTube shorts and is a musician doing parodies of genres for his shtick. And this is the first time I've ever had a comedy album on my list. Look, I know comedy is subjective. Maybe I don't have all the humor that Kyle has, but when I heard this, all I pictured was that Donkey Kong gif of not funny, didn't laugh. This guy made a parody album in the style of a radio station, pulling off the most stereotypical jokes of every single genre from rock, nu metal, country, emo, dance, rap, gospel. every genre you can think of. All the lifestyles, lyrics, and inappropriate behaviors you have heard from all of these genres, all done in the dumbest way possible. It's not even funny. It's freaking abysmal. Kyle's vocals are ungodly, whiny, and ear-piercing. Imagine the lightest guy in high school making video projects of all these genres and impersonations, like he heard one song from each genre and be like, alright, let's make something funny from this. And let's also make it unfunny as well. It's not even a good attempt at trying to be funny. You have songs like I Love Cheating on My Wife, When Will College End, Never, Crawl to Me, My Husband's Ghost, This Christmas. You're not funny, Kyle. There is literally a song and trope of marrying a 13-year-old girl in every 1950s rock and roll song. Yeah, it was a thing on the album. I feel like I really need a cold shower after that. YouTube, seriously, please don't demonetize me or try to get me straight. I'm literally saying what the song is about. This is basically the most unfunny and also simultaneously insufferable album I heard this year. But I said it was number one for a personal reason. Not only because this was an incredibly awful album, this album had the audacity of being released on my birthday. Yeah, this was released on my freaking birthday, April 4th, 2025. This was released on my 24th birthday. Just purely from that alone, this garbage album dropped on my birthday is why it's my worst album of the year. Like, how fucking dare you, Kyle, be this crap on my birthday? Seriously, screw yourself, Kyle. Worst album of 2025. Well, that was something, I guess. I hope me suffering through it all was worth it. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed the top 10 worst albums of the year in 2025. Let me know what you thought were the worst albums of the year. Remember, this is all just my opinion of what I didn't like. Soon my best albums of 2025 will be dropped. Look forward to that soon. Anyways, thanks for watching. I'm gonna go take a nap after all that.